The Old Testament is filled with weird and interesting stories of real-life events. The entire story of Jacob is filled with action, drama, adventure, and romance. The Bible gives us everyday scenarios as well as epic adventures, all of which we can learn vital lessons to improve on our Christian lives. Jacob is the type of Christ that represents the love and compassion Christ has for the church. Jacob's life also represents the continuation of the church and the setting up of God's kingdom. According to the Strong's Hebrew Dictionary, the name Jacob means heel catcher or supplanter, which means to overthrow or take something not belonging to you. Other Hebrew dictionaries describe the name Jacob as being a trickster. It is important to note that a lot of the names were usually derived from things people did. God changed Jacob's name to Israel, signifying the change within Jacob. The same way, when we give our lives to God, He can change us from a sinner to saved. Let's look at what Jesus Himself said about the Old Testament writings. When the Jews wanted to kill Jesus for what they saw as breaking the Sabbath and making Himself equal with God, Jesus responded, "Search the Scriptures, for in them ye think ye have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. For had ye believed Moses, ye would have believed me, for he wrote of me." Moses wrote much of the Old Testament, including Genesis, the book that includes the telling of Jacob and Esau. Therefore, we can be assured that Moses wrote about Jesus in Genesis, and I believe the account of Jacob and Esau includes a picture of future events. There is a shadow that spans thousands of years in the early lives of Jacob and Esau. Isaac, who is the father of Jacob and Esau, is the same Isaac, son of Abraham, who as a child was to be sacrificed by Abraham on the altar by the direct instruction from God, only to be stopped moments before Abraham followed through. Isaac was another shadow of things to come in Jesus, who the Father did follow through with his sacrifice, which in return brought about salvation. There is a continual, repetitive cycle throughout the Old Testament that points to the revealing of God's plan through Jesus Christ, and we will look at one instance of this in some detail. After Isaac took a wife, Rebekah, she became pregnant with twins. To them it was a tremendous blessing, although Rebekah felt a struggle with them in her womb, and inquired of God why this was happening. And the Lord said unto her, "Two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger." And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red, all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. And the boys grew. And Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau, because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob sawed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, "Feed me, I pray thee, with the same red pottage, for I am faint." Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, "Sell me this day thy birthright." And Esau said, "Behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me?" And Jacob said, "Swear to me this day." And he sware unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils. And when he did eat and drink, and rose up, and went his way, thus Esau despised his birthright. The Scriptures waste no time in revealing the conflict of Jacob and Esau. We see in the text that Esau was what we might call a man's man. He was a hunter and an outdoorsman. And Jacob, he was a mere homebody. It's easy to understand why the parents were conflicted in their love for their children. Especially in those days, a father would desire his son to be someone who could take care of himself, someone who was out in the world doing what men do. And Jacob, being at home, probably spent much of his time with his mother. They surely developed a love that leads to the reason as to why Rebekah loved Jacob more. If this account was a movie, then Esau is the main actor. We are all rooting for Esau, and we see Jacob as the villain, manipulating his more talented brother into selling him his birthright over a meal. However, these two men are not characters in a script. The implication of what is happening determines the inheritance of a nation. Not any nation, but God's nation. Even though the birthright was of such great value, Esau was willing to discard it over a bowl of pottage and some bread. While on the other hand, Jacob yearned for it. It's like he was looking for an opportunity to obtain it. And what a ridiculous way, in fact, he did. Receiving the birthright over some pottage seems like a very cunning way to receive it, almost deceptive, even though they both agreed willingly. However, that wasn't the end of Jacob and Esau's problems. And it came to pass that when Isaac was old, and his eyes were dim so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son, and said unto him, My son. And he said unto him, Behold, here I am. And he said, Behold, now I am old. I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out to the field, and take me some venison, and make me savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spoke to Esau his son. And Esau went to the field to hunt for venison, and to bring it. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, Behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, Bring me venison, and make me savory meat, that I may eat, and bless thee before the Lord before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command thee. Go now to the flock, and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Behold, Esau is my brother. He is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. My father peradventure will fill me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. And his mother said unto him, Upon me be thy curse, my son. Only obey my voice, and go fetch me them. And he went and fetched, and brought them to his mother. And his mother made savory meat, such as his father loved. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them upon Jacob her younger son. And she put the skins of the kids and the goats upon his hand, and upon the smooth of his neck. And she gave the savory meat and the bread, which she had prepared, into the hand of her son Jacob. And he came unto his father, and said, My father. And he said, Here I am. Who art thou, my son? And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn. I have done according as thou biddest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac said unto his son, How is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, Because the Lord thy God brought it to me. And Isaac said unto Jacob, Come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not. And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him, and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy as his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him. And he said, Art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, Bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son venison, and my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, Come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him. And he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, See, the smell of my son is the smell of the field which the Lord has blessed. Therefore God give thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be every one that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made the end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out of the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. And he also had made savory meat, and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, Let my father arise and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn, Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, Who? Where is he that hath taken venison, and brought it me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceedingly bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even Me also, O my father. And he said, Thy brother came and hath taken away thy blessing. Is he not rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. Not only did Jacob use opportunity to receive Esau's birthright, through deception he stole his blessing as well. This was the blessing from God unto the descendant of Abraham. This blessing gave Jacob the one who the lineage of Christ would come through. This blessing made him the father of Israel and the son of God Almighty. Esau was swindled out of his birthright, and then later, through deception to Isaac, his blessing was stolen by Jacob under the instruction of his own mother. At this point of their lives, it would be fair to say that Jacob is not a very good, honest person, and Esau has been given the short end of the stick. This is how we see it, as the account stands. However, God is able to see it from the beginning to the end, and thankfully, we are able to read ahead and see how this ended. Stay tuned for more studies about Jacob and Esau to see how it finished out. God bless.